You are seeing and listening to Mark Herman, one of the world's great players, at the four-manual Grande Page theater organ. Not the Grande Page at Stephenson High School in the auditorium, but the Grande Page in his hometown, Fort Wayne, Indiana, at the Embassy Theater. But you'll get to hear him in Stone Mountain coming up on November the 9th. Truly great theater organ performers, Mark Herman. And there you see the information on the 423 Grande Page organ, Sunday, November 9th at 3 o'clock. And there is no admission charge for this concert. And Mark, we are thrilled you're coming to Atlanta.
I'm looking forward to it, Ken.
I think we'll have a great time, and it'll be interesting to get your reaction and comparison to the page that you grew up on in Fort Wayne versus the page that we have now in the auditorium at Stephenson High School.
It's the only four-manual page I haven't played, so I'm looking forward to it.
It's a little bit different, but whatever. Let's talk about the thing we love to talk about in these interviews, and that is your wow moment. Does it go back to the embassy or someplace else in terms of your finding out about the theater organ?
It really does. So I developed a fascination with the pipe organ when I was only about 5 years old at a cousin's wedding, St. Peter's Catholic Church in Fort Wayne, Indiana, my hometown. And I became the youngest member of the American Guild of Organists chapter at 7 and started attending their events. And they had a room on the organ bench program, similar to today's pipe organ encounters. And each year they would take a group of young people around to different places. And when I was in about 4th grade, they took us to the Embassy Theater. Now, I was also into older music. I loved watching Looney Tunes and all of the great music that you heard during those. And my grandmother played piano and a little spinet Wurlitzer organ at home. And it's from her that I learned the song that I played the first time I sat down at the Embassy Page, which was the Darktown Strutters Ball, where everybody else was trying to play, Ode to Joy or a little bit of Bach or Beethoven or what have you. So that's when I met also Bob Ortt and Bob Goldstein and Dine Pfeffenberger, and the rest is history.
The great stalwarts that saved the Embassy Theater, and largely, I use this line all the time, the theater organ crazies saved the theaters because they couldn't have their play toy if they didn't have their play pen. And in this case, it was the Embassy Theater. And then I'm going to jump fast forward very quickly because I know one of the great influences in your musical life was the late John Ferguson, who was probably the greatest theater organ teacher we've ever known.
Oh, he was an incredible individual, a total Southern gentleman. And I was so lucky that he lived only a couple of hours from where I grew up. And I'm even luckier to have had parents who were willing to drive me 2 hours, 4-hour round trip to have an organ lesson with John. But he was so incredible in just his innate musicality and his ability to hear every little detail. I couldn't get away with anything with him listening. And he had such a wonderful way of gently but firmly making suggestions and helping me grow as a musician.
He wasn't my teacher, but he was by osmosis when I played at the Paramount Music Palace and he was the music director. There wasn't a session that went by that he didn't walk up and say, "Now you're doing this, don't ever do that again. Do this instead. Listen to what Bill and Donna have done here." He was amazing and just a wonderful, wonderful, sweet human being, and influenced a lot of players for sure. So your career has been most interesting. We have seen you all over YouTube playing theater organs all over the country. We've seen you on your request piano solos on wonderful pianos all over the country. And you have gone from concert performer now to film cure, film musician, and with the passing of the great Kenny Crome, who installed more theater organs than anybody, you have picked up that mantle and have the Herman Pipe Organ Company, and you're installing theater organs all over the place.
Well, so I had incredible respect for Ken Crome and so many others who have done phenomenal restoration work on theater pipe organs. But something I noticed is that so many of the great restorers are nearing retirement age or have retired or have passed on. And I love these instruments, and I've always been very fascinated and drawn to restoration and working on them, and quality work and quality instruments. And but I was really nervous for the future, knowing that there aren't a whole lot of people doing this, certainly not as many as there used to be. So I wanted to make sure that I could learn from as many of these people as possible, and sort of tried to carry on that torch. And we've been very lucky to get several projects for some organs and restorations, and now it's amazing to think now there's 10 of us working in the shop, so we're staying busy.
Yeah, I'm sure. Speaking of busy, by the time you get to Atlanta, it will be post Halloween. But how many silent movies have you got to play in the upcoming 2 weeks toward the end of October?
Well, I did two this past weekend, and I actually only have one more,
Ah,
and it's kind of a neat one. It's up on the top of Mount Wilson, which is the big mountain here above Los Angeles. And it's where all the television towers are and some big telescopes are. But it's quite a trek to get up there. And there's a little auditorium from about 1930. And I put a little Allen theater organ in there earlier this year. They had one silent film so far that was sold out, standing room only. And we're doing another one here for Halloween.
great. So, what will be a little of your repertoire for the Grande Page pipe organ on November the 9th? Have you an idea at this point? I'm putting you on the spot.
I do. I do. So I've been sort of emerged in a lot of, or submerged in a lot of movie music, being here in LA, and also playing lots of silent film stuff. So I was going to focus my program around music from the movies. I just worked up a great big Wizard of Oz fantasy using some of the original score, and trying to just take a lot of the themes from that magical score and put it together. So, but all sorts of great stuff from the memorable movies and movie musicals.
Well, we are most definitely looking forward to this visit. If you don't know the name, you will if you come to the Stephenson High School auditorium on Sunday, November the 9th at 3 o'clock to hear this young man and his spectacular musical talents on our wonderful Grande Page Theater pipe organ. There is no admission charge. We'll obviously ask perhaps for a donation, but this is a free concert at 3 o'clock with some of the most fabulous pops music that you'll ever want to hear. And for those of you who don't know the theater organ, who just stumble upon our Atlanta chapter of the American Theater Organ Society website or YouTube or wherever you're seeing this, if you haven't been, it's like going to hear the Boston Pops. It's a whole variety of wonderful music. And what this young man can do with the theater organ is truly special.
Oh, thank you. Very kind, Ken. Thank you.
We speak the truth. Mark Herman, from Fort Wayne to Monrovia, California to Stone Mountain, Georgia on November the 9th, our guest. Thanks so much for your time, Mark. We'll
Thanks,
see you
Ken.
very shortly, and we'll hope to see you all at Stephenson High School, Sunday, November 9th at 3 o'clock with Mark Herman at the Grande Page Theater Organ. Free admission. Come on out to Stone Mountain for a spectacular Sunday afternoon of great music, and thanks for joining us. We'll hope to see you there.